Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Talib Al-Khair. I have a PhD in political science, and this is Mastering Politics to Better Understand the World. So, we all see politicians on the news, on TV, giving us lectures and telling us what should be done and what should not be done, and trying to tell us what's the best for our countries or what's the best course of action when it comes to a certain domestic policy or international policy. But what exactly is a politician? What makes a good politician? And what are their duties and responsibilities? So you need to understand these basic concepts. And this will make you a much better citizen. It will make you a better judge of what makes a good politician. And I argue it will help you vote for a better politician as well. Yeah. So for today, I made this presentation, a mini lecture, on what does a politician do, and the definitions, what makes a good politician, what are the responsibilities and duties, and especially what are the modern age expectations of what a good politician should do. Okay, so let's start with the definition. So a politician is an individual who holds or seeks a position in government responsible for making decisions and policies that affect the public. So, if this is the definition of a politician, what are the responsibilities? Now, there are three key responsibilities that every politician should have in general. The first one is policy formulation. So, politicians develop, propose, and advocate for laws and policies that address societal needs and issues. Okay. Now, depending on the kind of politician, these responsibilities change in aspect and in degree. Okay, so if you are a politician within the executive branch of the government, so if you're, let's say, a president or a secretary of a state, for example, in the United States, then your duties and responsibilities will be different than a politician who is a part of the parliament, a member of the parliament or the senate in the states. Okay, so the first responsibility is policy formulation. The second one is representation. So they represent the interests and concerns of their constituents in legislative bodies. Okay, so this is more for politicians who are members of the parliament, but also politicians who are in the executive branch of the government are supposed to be representative of their citizens to a certain degree, depending on the type of political system in which you live in. This might be a bit different, but these are the general aspects, the general principles. The third responsibility is oversight. So politicians ensure that government agencies and officials are held accountable for their actions and decisions. Okay, so in today's society, the role of a politician is slightly changing, but in general, there's the expectations of a politician being a good leader and a politician having integrity. So modern politicians are expected to be leaders who uphold democratic values, communicate transparently, and act ethically. Okay, so you need to understand that when we say that modern politicians are expected to be advocating for democratic values, you need to understand that in the vast majority of the world, all countries claim to be democratic. So even North Korea calls itself democratic. The Democratic Republic of Congo, for example, calls itself democratic. And generally speaking, the countries that have democratic in their name tend to be the least democratic. But we'll talk about that hopefully in a future video. So, what are these new expectations when it comes to politicians? First one is truth telling. So, politicians must provide accurate information about government actions to prevent misinformation. So, they're supposed to tell you exactly what's happening within the government in a transparent way, and they're supposed to tell you the truth. Supposed, underline that. The second one is community engagement. So politicians should foster relationships with this word is difficult, constituents, making themselves accessible and responsive to their needs. The third one is strategic decision making. So politicians are tasked with setting clear goals for projects and monitoring progress to ensure accountability. Yeah. So the importance of political roles in these days, in this day and age, politicians have so much more power than they used to before. So it used to be the case that there's a huge distance between the government and the citizens. So if you're the king, there was a huge difference between what's happening in the king's palace and what the peasants were having to do in a daily life. And the king's decisions didn't matter that much. But nowadays, because of big government and because of technology, everything that the government does basically has to do with your own life. So the first one is stability and trust. So by adhering to ethical standards and engaging with the community, politicians can build trust and stability within society. The second aspect is advocacy for change. So politicians play a crucial role in advocating for social changes and addressing pressing issues such as healthcare, education, and economic policies, etc. So a good example of this is Barack Obama and what he did with the Affordable Care Act. And with the Affordable Care Act was about giving health insurance to poor people, basically. And Obama had such a big role in it that it's still called Obamacare. So, in conclusion, politicians play an essential role in democracy because they are vital in shaping policies that impact citizens' lives, ensuring accountability, and representing public interests. The second thing is you need to be encouraged to be part of the civic engagement. So, because understanding the responsibilities of politicians can empower you to engage actively in the political process and advocate for their needs and your needs basically, and hold elected officials accountable. So, this is what we said from the start. You need to understand what are politicians, what they're supposed to do, and what are their duties in order to make you a better judge of what makes a good politician. Okay? So, if you are interested in politics at all, if you think this is helpful, if you think I missed anything, let me know in the comments below. And take a look at my free school community where you will see these lectures. There's going to be constant, regular lectures, but most importantly, it's a proper community in the sense that there's a place where you can take part of the discussions, and there's going to be regular Q&As and newsrooms where we get together and discuss the news and what's happening in the world. So if you're the type of person who likes to be engaged in politics and learn from other people about what's happening in the world, and you like to debate stuff like that, engage in stuff like that, then take a good look at my community. I will put a link in the description below, and let me know what you think. I'll see you next time.